sampah biang masalah. Buang sampah pada tempatnya lah.
Iya, kalau bukan kita, siapa lagi? Ayo kita buat Jakarta jadi bersih.
I suspect your bahasa Inggris Wakil Gubernur is completely fluent.
No, we use Indonesian English. They said my English is typical Indonesian English.
It's very effective.
I think Jakarta have advantage. Most of the bureaucrats could speak English from different from Menerima.
Biro perekonomian, asisten di dalam menerima tamu dari JK.
Different. It's my former place in Inggris. Here is Paris. Asisten ekonomi. Ekonomi. Asisten ekonomi.
Basuki will describe some of these.
Very interesting. From the cooking oil to the But I just don't know how to supply this cooking oil. I don't know which area. They also sell the cooking oil. That's the problem. They sell it, buy it, they just take it after the sedimentation. They sell it again for cooking. That's the problem. And they reuse it. They just keep it and they reuse it again. I don't know how, what we have to know is how to make it.
We have a solution here, I understand.
We have a potential solution.
I think harusnya kita pakai presentasi ya dia. It's okay.
Sudah diterima.
Ya ini udah, saya udah paham.
So, Wakil Gubernur, the exciting thing is I come from one great city to another great city, from London to Jakarta. And this is the city where I started working. And London is the city where I'm now working. And I have this golden opportunity to try and help do something that is good for Indonesia, good for the UK, and good for the planet as well. So it's a win-win-win. And we are all in favour of recycling, just like you. But recycling of cooking oil is not a good thing. It's not good for the health, it's not good for energy, and ultimately it's a bad thing for the water system as well. So for all those reasons, we're very interested in seeing whether we can work with you to devise something for Jakarta which could be the leading example, not just in Indonesia, but arguably in the whole of ASEAN, as to how a great city can change its habits of not recycling cooking oil, but using biodiesel instead. And in a way, our inspiration is also here in Indonesia, because this has been done in one part of Bali already, in a project that gathers up all the cooking oil, transforms it into biodiesel, and then sells it again. And it employs people who've been unemployed, people with disabilities. It can be run by a social enterprise or a charity. It will make money, so it will be good for almost everybody it involves. So this is the project that our climate and energy advisor, Paul, has been working on with me from a distance. And this is his presentation that outlines what the project could be for the government of Jakarta. Would it be useful for Paul to run through the presentation, or would you like us just to summarize the key points?
I think the more important is talking about how the cost effective.
Yeah.
For us, Jakarta, we could help you to promote, to prevent people to use cooking oil. And we also have tourist bus, we use diesel. In our rule is to use CNG, yes, but we realize this is not enough CNG to support because we do not have enough shelter to support the CNG. So we changed to use the diesel bus. But we not say we purchase for the Transjakarta, but we say for the tourist bus, the double decker, like a London. It is inspired by London double decker. We free of charge. We will use the diesel. I think it's very good. We could also purchase your product for our bus.
Yeah.
Because it's what we could guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, the main ingredients, Paul, would it be true to say is, I mean, firstly, they're the targets that Indonesia has on using more biodiesel already. And then secondly, there's the question of the pricing of recycled cooking oil and how much it would cost to produce the biodiesel. And then there are the savings involved in using less imported fuel. I think those are really the main ingredients. Do you want to add to that?
Well, I think, yes, thank you, Richard. The current setup is that most hotels, restaurants, the oil gets sold out of the back door and ends up being used by the kaki lima.
Yeah.
And the selling price is roughly 3,000 rupiah per litre from our survey. Now, what our consultants found is that at the subsidised price of biodiesel, which is only 5,500 rupiah per litre, that's not enough margin for this to work. But at the non-subsidised price of 10,000 per litre, that's sufficient, and this could be a very workable business model.
Yeah.
So the key thing would be to be able to sell into the non-subsidised diesel market.
Kita beli subsidi.
Kita beli kalau pemerintah
Yeah, that's why the government have to buy the non-subsidy.
Yeah.
I think they have an opportunity. And that is when we enough bus in Jakarta next year. We will ask the central government to stop the subsidized fuel in Jakarta. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. If you
I don't know what will happen. I think I have to, after general election, could do this, I think.
Yeah, that would give you enough time to plan the real project. But if your buses are going to run off the non-subsidized price, then this model could be financially very attractive.
mobil dinas Pak,
Iya.
itu semua
Enggak, kita mau bilas, kita mau paksa pindah ke CNG.
Oh ya kalau sini bisa.
Kita mau CNG, khusus bus yang kita akan lakukan. Ada sumbangan-sumbangan bus Transjakarta yang iklan itu semua solar itu Pak. Kita udah antisipasi.
Jadi di Bogor Pak ini dipakai.
Iya,
Bogor
dipakai.
dari minyak.
Nah, I don't know how to start this project. You develop a new company, or you have to work with our company, or we just purchase your technology, we run by ourselves. We don't know.
Well, you could structure it in different ways. You know, there is no fixed model of how to structure it. But I think the main ingredients is that you would need to have a company which can collect the oil. That's very important. And then you need to have some operators who are well trained to run the plant. And depending where the plant comes from, you can have a backup system so that it can actually be operated from far away. So, misalnya, the plant in Bali can actually be operated in an emergency from the UK if something goes wrong by remote control. But the important thing is to have people trained to be able to operate the plant and people trained to be able to collect the oil.
Jualnya Pak, jualnya ini kalau nggak kita pakai sendiri kan pilihannya itu Pak, kita pakai sendiri produknya itu atau kita jual. Kalau kita jual ini susah.
Kalau the produk gampang,
Yeah.
we use by our bus. It's easy. I think the problem for us is we don't have experience to collect this
Collection system.
collection system.
Kalau aturan bisa dibuat.
Bikin, harus kumpul,
Kumpul.
harus kumpul ya. Oke.
Ya.
Terus yang kedua,
Tapi harus dibayar juga.
kita bayar beli.
Ya,
Nah, teknologi gimana? Siapa yang kelola?
If we may know about the mobile unit more further information about the technology itself, is there any indication that this product can mobile or just we put it or install it in one place?
You'd have it installed. You could either have lots of small plants, it's possible, or you can have one bigger one, or you can have a few medium-sized ones. Terserah. It would be entirely up to the government of Jakarta how easy it is for you to collect and transport. But it's probably easier to have it in one central plant.
And there's two case studies that we found. One, the one in Bali is run, they set up a yayasan with charitable status, and they operate all the collection. So they have trucks that go around collecting from the hotels, and then they sell the finished product. So that works. That the costs cover all of the costs of the collection and distribution. And
Bogor, beda. Bogor is different.
Kalau Bogor dia beli dari KFC Pak. Jadi bekas itu dia beli langsung dia olah sendiri pakai untuk transponder. Tapi belum secara massal. Industrialnya belum massal. Nah kita mau ngarah ke yang massal. Satu kota ini kalau perlu ngumpulin itu semua.
Kalau kita sih banyak di Jakarta.
Banyak.
Mau,
Jadi persoalannya nanti kalau udah produknya besar, apa kita pakai sendiri atau kita jual?
Pasti bus, kita harus pakai bus.
Kalau bus kita bisa
kurang ya di mana?
Tapi kalau
Karena bus Jakarta kita plat merah itu semua kita harus pakai diesel untuk nimbangin itu.
In Bogor, they collect mainly from schools. So they have about 5,000 litres, so 5,000 litres sebulan dari sekolah. Banyak sekolah they collect from schools.
Oh, so the student bring from home.
Or from the school kitchen.
From the kitchen.
And then they collect. So I think the key thing here will just be to find a location where it would be easy to aggregate all the collection and then to sell to the city bus network or to another.
the plantation for producing the biodiesel, how large?
Quite small. The actual factory comes in a shipping container. So a 10-litre container.
The big one or the little one?
You mean this one?
Yeah, it's about the size of a
The capacity?
Of one container.
Well, the capacity is scalable, so the small one can be 1,000 litres a day, and a big one 50,000 litres a day. So you have to.
Kalau mau kan, nanti regulationnya kan bisa dimulai dari
Ya,
daerah.
kita tinggal taruh mesinnya itu di
deponya,
bus tingkat sama Transjakarta.
Iya betul, depo kita kan bisa taruh situ. Kalau mesinnya itu bisa melalui kawasan misalnya Pak.
From 1 liter use cooking oil become how much? The recovery?
About 85%. So,
85%.
and there is a side product, which is a chemical called glycerol, which can be used in cooking or in soap manufacture. So you get almost about 85% of the volume of oil you get as diesel.
Tadi kalau disandingkan dengan yang subsidi pasti kalah harganya. Tapi kalau yang non subsidi oke. Dan dari
Kayak kalau pertama itu mesti bawa jakpo ikut.
saya kira
Saya udah bilang.
dia bisnis.
Kalau mau bisnis itu mesti ada unit bisnis kita.
Ya,
Tapi kalau ada pertemuan itu harus ikut.
What's interesting about what we do is that this way of turning more and more production through biodiesel from the energy is becoming one of the big international trends. So, for example, McDonald's in the US have asked the maker of this particular plant to provide a plant for every one of their stores in the US. So it's going to become, I think, quite a big and interesting thing. And it's not very expensive. That's the other attractive thing.
Kalau industri makanan gitu Pak bisa dipaksa Pak. Malah justru dia memprotek lingkungan dengan dia menyetorkan dan menjualnya kepada kita.
Kita tinggal beli aja di mesin itu.
Betul.
Just purchase the machine.
Kalau mau pakai sendiri.
Try.
I mean, what I think would be interesting would be to maybe have a government of Jakarta visit to the project in Bali,
yeah.
To go and have a look at it.
The Bali use this product.
They use this product, yeah. It's being run by a Swiss NGO called Caritas, based in Indonesia. So I'm sure that Paul would be very happy to help arrange.
Kita suruh Jakpro beli aja Pak, coba Pak. Untuk supply busnya semua.
Nanti kita backup pakai regulasi untuk konteks.
Coba yang kecil dulu kan.
Yeah, small scale.
Small scale 1,000, boleh baru beli.
Because of the problem of increasing oil imports, the Kementerian SDM is building quite high biodiesel blending percentage, so there will be strong demand both from Pertamina and from other users in public transport.
Next time kita ngomong sama Pertamina Pak.
Tawarin our government, central government, want to use a CPO, crude palm oil, as a fuel. Now they are still thinking, but they want to the fixed price of the CPO, because we produce many CPO. Yes, CPO langsung hidup kok. One of my friends is the owner of the palm plantation. He used this CPO as a fuel in his Land Cruiser. Yeah. I don't know what, but it's still okay.
Koperasi Pak.
Oh yeah. Ini koperasi. Sekarang gimana caranya Bu supaya semua minyak goreng bekas bisa kita beli?
Minyak goreng bekas Pak.
Nah, 3.000. Gimana caranya? Regulasinya.
Regulasi. Baik Pak, izin mungkin untuk masalah.
You speak English.
Oh, speak English. Yeah. Excuse me, maybe we must do coordination to Ministry of Trade, because the CPO, this is the regulation specific.
No, this is used cooking oil, used bekas-bekas itu.
Yeah, because for the health untuk kesehatan for the health, this is we must do coordination selain to Ministry of Trade, maybe the Ministry of
sorry, for what? Coordinating with the minister.
Yeah, because
This is our area. We could just purchase from the restaurant, from the hotel. We don't. We just want to know how to ask like a kaki lima Federal Street.
yes.
Don't use the used cooking oil.
Regulasi.
Yeah.
Maksudnya kita bikin regulasi, saya tidak boleh pakai. Jadi kalau mau dagang kaki lima, mau jualan di Jakarta, harus pakai minyak goreng yang baru, karena alasan kesehatan.
Betul.
Kalau tidak, maka kita akan ban Anda dagang di sini.
Terus sisa yang bekasnya kita beli.
Sisa bekas Anda kami beli dengan harga berapa? Kan 3.000 tinggal, tapi harga berapa persen dari yang
Mohon izin Pak, kebetulan memang kebijakan tentang minyak goreng itu memang ada di Dijen Dagang Negeri. Tetapi yang kami tahu waktu itu sebelumnya adalah bahwa karena minyak goreng ini memang ada satu organisasi yang memang masalah minyak goreng ini untuk yang bekas itu diperkenankan Pak. Asal penggorengan sudah berapa kali gitu, Pak. Bekasnya ini juga ada standarnya. Jadi itu semua di tangan kewenangan kementerian. Jadi untuk masalah bekas, jadi tetap ada. Jadi misalnya seperti asosiasi-asosiasi itu semua ditangani karena
Inggrisnya
ya, ya, tidak apa-apa. Jadi I'm sorry, yeah, I know because the regulation about the cooking oil, yeah, this is to coordination to Ministry of Trade because the regulation about CPO, this is the cooking oil, include yeah in there. So maybe after this, I want to coordination to Ministry of Trade about regulation to minyak mentah, ya, oil.
Saya kira gitu aja, panggil Jakpro Pak, kalau mau gampang, atau kita juga bisa, di UKM juga bisa. Maksudnya bisa nggak diangkat, tapi mesti tender, kalau itu mesti tender. Jadi Jakpro,
Also, Ancol Pak, maybe we can install it in one place because the restaurant there is very the most challenge is how to collect the waste cooking oil in one area.
Ancol bisa buat isi mobilnya sudah cukup, mobil-mobil yang keliling. Ancol,
If we may suggest, Pak, I think we can install it in one place. I think there's in one strategic area.
Just keep contact Pak. Send Ancol director or manager to the Bali to look at and purchase one unit to try in Ancol Bali project.
I think we should take a site visit and see one, two strategic spot there.
Ancol, dia goreng ikan yang di
ikan bakar.
Ya bakar atau yang dia itu loh. Badannya apa aja udah banyak minyaknya sini.
So I think this company can cooperate with PT Ancol and then try to install it, and the collection of waste cooking oil will be.
You have interest to invest here, or we just promote your technology?
Well, I think what's interesting is that if this can work for you in Jakarta, it can work anywhere in Indonesia, and the opportunity and the significance on the budget in terms of imported oil could be very big. So what I recommend is exactly what you were, as you were saying, is if you try a pilot scheme first, and if you can model your collection scheme according to what you think works best in Bali, quite simple with a truck and some drivers and so on. If that can work, then you could go for something bigger. At that stage, you could have a discussion with the guys who manufacture this about whether you want to do some form of inviting them to do a joint venture, manufacture, and so on.
How much for the capacity 1,000 liter a day?
The price?
24 hours book.
The lowest cost one is about $100,000.
100,000.
And to do 50,000 litres a day is about $1.5 million.
What?
One satisfying of $1 million.
$100,000 US. This is CRF price or FOB in London?
Probably an FOB.
Oh.
But I mean, the
buat lingkungan.
Tapi itu harus diperhitungkan karena itu cuma biaya itu biaya modal Pak, dia belum termasuk operating.
Tugasnya gitu aja, betul Ancol juga disuruh.
Iya Pak. I think we can take a site visit to Ancol and then we will have a meeting with the director.
Just ask the Ancol to visit Bali. Look at the machine, you purchase one in Ancol and you install in Ancol. Because Ancol is near many restaurants in the northern Jakarta, you know, Mangga 2, you know, many restaurants.
What they probably will need is somebody to be trained up on how to operate it.
Yeah.
That's quite important.
Okay, we send people to the Bali.
The
he learn there.
the Bali
In
NGO
1 month,
should be able.
1 month in the Bali. Itu Ancol bisa lah, itu Jakpro. try this.
Yeah. So, but who should we coordinate with?
Iwan atau ini? Iwan aja, suruh ini. Iwan kan ya.
Ke saya.
Pak Azam.
Nanti Pak Hasan akan diskusi lebih detail nanti.
Just have cell phone number.
Yeah. So, Paul,
Park, this feather straight of the cooking, you just throw it to the tree. The tree will die.
you got a copy of the Box presentation?
Jualan di sini tiap kalau boleh bisa kita mulai atur kumpulin.
Pak Hasan kita bisa undang sekarang ke dapur atau ke kantor.
Enggak, ini atur sama mereka.
Ya,
Langsung ke Bali. Jadi orang Ancol kirim orang yang kira-kira akan incas di ngurusin ini.
Oh, ke Bali aja langsung.
Sudah Pak, udah gampang Pak.
Oh, barangnya
Nggak usah.
So it shows some of the different examples, and then it gives the funding operation, and all the facts and figures. And I think there's even a structure of the partnerships and the collection system, how the fund operates.
Tapi kita mau bikin banyak bus wisata yang solar, nggak dukung malah kita. Untuk bus wisata yang tidak ada solar kita, satu bagas GNG, satu itu dari cooking oil gitu. Jadi sesuatu. Handphone embassy. To Kuningan. That's why we already talked to our foreign minister not to sell it to a private company, because when the private company get that place, they will develop a mall or shopping center or apartment or office. We need the place if we want to purchase a former location. We want to become a good park for the public. We could imagine.
It's quite small though.
Yeah, but it's tough. Also the Germany embassy.
Yeah.
And it's really good. This is Bundaran HI. We have a park for the people to, good tropical tree in the park. If private sector purchase that land, they never want to be a park. It's not feasible. But for us, we don't care. Not talking about the money, talking about the private, talking about the city. In the center of the city, we have a park. You never imagine the government the province want to purchase expensive land used for a park. That's what Mr. Governor idea.
The problem for my government, kemiskinan sekali, but they need to raise some revenue from selling it. So
Yeah, we also pay
a commercial transaction.
Yeah. We don't ask.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
We don't ask for discount.
Use a market price.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Commercial price.
Well, let me,
That's why we said commercial price, but you don't sell to the private sector. Sell to us.
I will transmit that to my government in London.
Yeah, we use a price, and we want the price. We will use our budgeting to purchase that.
Very interesting.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we just ask, how to say, a special, not sell to other people. It's the same price.
I think it's called a private treaty or something.
Well, that is very interesting, and I will send that to London.
Yeah, for what you sell to the private sector.
If you can get the same price.
Same price, just same price.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Well, that's got a lot of attractions.
Yeah.
If you give us discount, you could put your brand. Discount from British Embassy. But no discount, no brand. We just use a private price.
So you can call it the British Embassy Park.
If you call it discount,
Biodiesel Park.
if you said British Park, you have to give a discount. Ada